Welcome back, one and all, to the Road to Halloween Kills review series here on this channel. I am joined once again by the Austinator and Devin Sterling. Guys, how the hell y'all doing?
Doing very good. How are you?
I'm great, especially given the circumstances.
Zach, I'm fan-fucking-tastic.
We're going to talk about a kick-ass movie today. Not the kick-ass, but just a kick-ass movie.
Better than the last couple that we got.
Oh, that's friggin' understatement. Oh boy, where to begin? Halloween 2018. What? It still feels like yesterday when this was coming out, and I just before we get started, I guess that's where I kind of want to set the bar with this. Is like, rather than like how we first saw the film, I want to kind of talk like, what was your guys' theatrical experience like?
Much better experience than I thought I would have because keep in mind, Halloween is a franchise that it's always been a franchise that's always, not necessarily been up to standard. It's always been hit or miss. It's always been either good or really bad. And I wanted to do this movie with the expectation that it was going to be good. I just didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. And I wouldn't say I was like scared during the movie, but it had really good atmosphere to where I was tense. So I mean, I would say I had a pretty good experience.
Sweet. Devin?
Going into it when it came out, I had very little expectations just because, I don't know, I didn't really think we needed another Halloween movie, especially since, the last couple we got weren't good. Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was awful. His remake was mediocre, and the fucking Resurrection is Resurrection. So going in, I had very little expectations. I was worried that it would just be another soulless cash grab, just to bank on the name, just because Michael is so iconic. And I walked out of the movie pleasantly surprised.
Indeed. Before It Chapter 2 came out, Halloween 2018 probably had to be the greatest theater experience I ever had in my entire life. And I know, the same year that Infinity War came out, so that's saying a lot, but because that was my thing. Like, everyone was raving about Infinity War, but for me, Halloween 2018 was my movie event of that year. But that's just me. So, another thing before we get started is, like, rewatching this movie again, like, whenever was the last time you guys rewatched this, how did it hold up? Like, is this still a movie that you guys like?
I definitely still enjoy it. I mean, it's one of the better Halloween sequels. I will say that. I would probably be in my top 5, but it is a movie that I think the theater experience was better, and I do have some problems with it. But otherwise, this movie it holds up pretty well. I think you can tell that there was a lot of care put into it. Good. There's just good stuff all around. So I mean, it's still a good movie.
Good. Devin?
I still think it holds up as a good movie. Personally, like, the problems I have with it are still the problems that I had when I first saw it. But I watched it again. I still like it.
Indeed. Like, for me, I have loved this movie since I walked out of the theater. And if there's anything Last Jedi taught us, is that, yeah, you can love a movie walking out of it, but always you give it some time. You temper your expectations, like, let a few months pass or whatever, and you see how it holds up. And no, that I still fucking adore this movie. This movie kicks ass. So I guess with that segue, let us the round table is the same as usual. Austin can start, then Devin, and then me. Let us get into our positives for Halloween 2018.
Well, my first positive would be here. I liked just the overall just structuring and the feel of the movie because the Rob Zombie films were not really a big about atmosphere. It was more about gore and just slashers and kills. Like this movie, there is a ton of kills, but the way it's done, it's not like they're being done every second of the film. Like it's being done in like a slower paced atmospheric feel. And like I said earlier, I think there's a lot of care put into the story. I like this is actually gonna be one of my mixed aspects, but the fact that they retconned Halloween 2 for this, I mean, granted, I appreciate it, but at the same time, I'm like, there was really no need to retcon Halloween 2, but I get it because you don't want to copy H2O, but it kind of does. But there are things in this movie that does better than H2O, and H2O does things that might be better than this. But I like the way that it handled Laurie's character because they once again go through the H2O stuff, but they do it way differently.
Yeah.
Having her like have a daughter and have her not be Michael's sister, I actually like that as well because I thought the her being Michael's sister thing was just an unnecessary plot twist.
That's one of the things that, at least for me, makes this a better sequel than the original Halloween 2.
Yes, and well, maybe, but I have to really think about that. I like that the mask shows age. Like it kind of grew old as Michael grew old, so it shows that Michael and the mask are kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
And when Michael gets the mask again for the first time, that was epic. And then him, killing everybody in the neighborhood, stalking his way through, and it was all, and I believe it was all done in one shot. It was nicely handled.
My theater went nuts during that scene when he was going from house to house. Like, it was the standout part of the movie.
Oh, it was because that's just John Carpenter standard. I like that this movie has I like that it has the Halloween feel again because that was something that's been missing for the last 3 movies is that it didn't really have a Halloween feel to it. Sure, Michael Myers is in it, but it's not really Halloween, if that makes sense.
It's competently done, it's in competent hands, and it's the franchise being done right again.
Oh, absolutely. And again, the characters are likable for the most part. There are a couple characters that I could take or leave. Which some of them might be my mix, some of them will be my negative. But and of course, the final climax where they're in the house and Michael and Laurie, they're duking it out, and I like the atmosphere of that scene. Like when Michael just she's hiding and like all this shit's going on. Like I thought it was just well handled, well paced, and I thought the ending, which will probably be my mixed aspect, but other than that, I think it does its job really well. I think it's a movie that I would consider more like a nostalgia film. Like it's not necessarily doing anything to break the mold, but it's doing something in order to kind of regain the fans' trust. Meaning that they're not doing anything crazy or different like the freaking Thorn cult stuff or, stupid Rob Zombie crap. It's Halloween. It's basic and it doesn't need to be overly complicated. And I think that's why I kind of like this movie because it's like a comfort movie. Like it's not anything spectacular, but it brings the series back to form in a good way. So those are my positives.
Sweet. You're up next, Evan.
So I would definitely say the biggest positive I can get out of the way, James Jude Courtney is without a doubt the best Michael Myers in the series. He is intimidating. He is brutal. He is a badass. And what's scary is that he's an old man. He is an old man and he's like snapping 12-year-old kids' necks.
That friggin' caught me for a freaking loop. And that was another thing where I in the theater, I saw one person walk out, shockingly enough.
I'll definitely get more into that when we get to the kills. But James Jude Courtney, phenomenal Michael Myers. Jamie Lee Curtis, great as Laurie Strode. I definitely believed her PTSD more in this movie than I did in H2O, which H2O I'm not really that big of a fan. But there is like one aspect that I think was handled better in H2O, but we'll get to that. The score that Carpenter composed is excellent. It's definitely some of the best score in the series. For a while I had The Shape Stalks Allison. That song, I had that as my alarm clock, just because that song was so catchy and effective. We're definitely back to basics, back to the roots, and that was really appreciated. I'm glad that Laurie is no longer Michael's sister. I always thought that was a really stupid twist, and it doesn't make Michael scary. But here, he has no motive. He's walking chaos again. Laurie's in his way, so he hunts after her and her family. He's and that was really appreciated. It was well shot, even though I had some issues with some of the characters. They were serviceable for the most part. They had their likable qualities to them, and the big fight with Michael and Laurie, that was awesome. It's not laughable like it was in H2O, where like in H2O, Michael's being a pussy and just letting Laurie beat the shit out of him. Here, he's fucking fighting back. He's not holding back at all.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I liked all the kills, and
There's not a bad kill in this movie at all.
And I love how you can see, but you can't see Michael's face. And I loved that little shot where they're at the gas station. You just see him walk in the background. He's just killing people, and he's out of focus. That shit was fucking cool. I absolutely love that. And even though I have this, we'll get into my negatives. That little kid Julian, he was hilarious.
Bad mother babysitter. I wouldn't be up clipping my nasty ass toenails. You'd be reading me a bedtime story.
Yeah, but those are my positives.
Oh boy. Where do I begin? The biggest positive for Halloween 2018 for me is the heart. The effort. The amount of effort put into this movie, I cannot put into words just how much I adore everything about it. While you can put up justifiable arguments on how it just copies a lot of stuff from H2O with Laurie being traumatized and how it fucks up her family and stuff, what makes it better for me in this movie is how they aim for the whole theme of how one generation's trauma can affect others going down the line. You don't really see it much with Allison's character, at least in this movie, but you see it a lot with Karen, like with her little flashback and just the disdain she holds for her mother throughout most of the movie. It's brilliantly executed. And another thing I really enjoyed, while I see it's a big flaw for some, it's actually a positive for me here. A lot of people said there's lots of plot points and characters they set up, but they go nowhere for this film. While that normally would be like maybe a negative or a mixed aspect for me, knowing that we're going to get Halloween kills, so that means that obviously those things left up to whatever in this movie are going to be paid off in the next one. It doesn't bother me because again, we're getting another movie, so in retrospect, depending on how they execute in the next film, it may make this film better in retrospect. Another big positive for me, this has probably got to be, next to the original film and Halloween 4, one of my favorite casts and just group of characters in any of the films of the franchise. from all the main characters to even the ones that you know are just cannon fodder for Michael to kill. They're likable, they have personality. There's not that one annoying, problematic, frustrating asshole character you're rooting for to die that it'll drag down the pacing, and it's just, for me, it's just, I know which character you're probably thinking of, Devin, but just for me, it's just like, I just, it may not be perfection, but at the same time, in my own way, I'm calling it perfection. But yeah, just everything. It's just heart. I could say a lot of the other stuff like the music, the kills, but we're gonna get to that into our next category. Thoughts?
I mean, good shit. Good shit.
Yep. All right. Like I said, Devin, I knew which character you're probably thinking of there, but just wait. Halloween,
Yeah.
Halloween Kills will probably make him better.
Oh, oh. I mean, yeah, he sucked too. But I was thinking about someone else.
Oh, now I think I know who you're talking about.
Oh man, I got peanut butter on my penis.
Ew, Dad.
Ugh. God, don't even get me fucking started on the humor of this movie. We'll get to that when we get to the negatives. Holy shit balls.
Alrighty. Our favorite characters, scenes, or kills?
Well, favorite character for me would probably be Lori. I think she is probably the most memorable, and I think she's done in a way where it's like she's kind of like the Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi, but it's actually done right. Like she's not giving up, but you can tell that she's definitely changed, and she's lived in fear all her life because of what Michael did, and the fact that she basically has to face her demons in the end. I thought it was a really nicely done story for her, even though it's not wrapped up in the end. I like that it was done in like what H2O did, but in a way I think this movie did it a little bit better.
Yeah.
I like that she had like the long hair, and I like that she was like old, and I like that she had like a child and a grandchild, of course, and I think everything like that was done well. I like her interaction with the other characters in the movie. I think she came off as like she could have come off as crazy to like the naked eye, but if you're somebody who knows what she's been through, she's definitely changed. In like she's no longer like the Girl Scout anymore. She's like, how would I put this? She's more like a hardened woman, essentially. Favorite scenes? Ooh, there's a couple. I'd probably say the scene where Michael one of the scenes is definitely Michael getting his mask back. I think that was a really cool scene, and him killing the reporters, of course. I did enjoy, like I said, that huge shot of Michael just walking through and killing people. Like I thought that was cool. Because again, that's John Carpenter's standards, and I think there was like a scene with, I believe it was Lori and the sheriff, I think, and I like that little exchange. Kills, kills. See, this one's a little bit. I would say maybe Michael killing. See, that's the thing. It's like with the kills, like they're good, but they're not like memorable. I guess Michael killing the kid, because that was more like a shock type of thing. Because everything else was just more like standard fare Michael Myers stuff. And I guess you know what? Also him killing Dr. Loomis's side guy. Which, fuck, I gotta remember what his name was. It was
Sartain.
Sartain, and like he fucking like takes his boot and like fucking like his head explode. Like Jesus, that was awesome.
That was badass.
It was freaking sick. So yeah, those are my favorite things.
Nice. Alrighty. You're up next.
So favorite characters of this movie are definitely like Austin said, Lori. You know, they did a great job like handling her PTSD, showing that the Girl Scout that we knew, the bookish Girl Scout that we knew in the original, is gone. Like she is traumatized, but at the same time she's badass and she's determined. I already mentioned Michael James Drew Courtney. To me, is the best Michael. I loved every scene with him. Favorite scenes. See, I love the bit at the gas station where Michael's just walking around. He's just killing everybody. I love when he snaps the kid's neck, because that caught me off guard. Like, wow, this is ballsy. Michael killed a fucking kid. This Michael is pure evil. This is the boogeyman. He is not holding back. He's not a brainwashed pawn like he is in fucking Halloween 5 and 6. He's not killing for family. He's not killing because he loves Lori, and he's not a pussy. This is Michael, the definitive Michael. And some of my other favorite kills, I love when he strangles the annoying dad.
Ray.
Oh god, don't even get me started on him. That was really satisfying to see.
It's a good kill.
Oh, I hated him.
If you think the strangling thing was good, when I get to mine, I'll have to tell you what apparently the original kill was gonna be.
Oh, now I'm curious.
All right. So is that it for you?
Yeah.
All right then. I guess like all of us, like Lori is obviously my favorite character. She's definitely my favorite character. Like, talk about fucking redemption after freaking resurrection. It's just my favorite thing about how her character is written is that, yeah, she's nuts. She thinks Michael's coming after her. But that's exactly the point. We as the audience know that Michael's just on a random path, and because she's traumatized and all, she thinks he's coming after her. It's brilliant. Another character I'm shocked that none of y'all brought up, Hawkins. I don't know if you guys have heard of this YouTuber, but I agree with what Dave McRae said in his review for the movie. Instead of just being one of the side officers, Hawkins should have been the sheriff of Haddonfield. He would have been the perfect contrast to how Brackett was in the original. Because, Brackett was cynical. He didn't really... It's not that he didn't believe what Loomis was trying to tell him, but it's like, why? Come on. So then, with everything that's happened, with how Hawkins just immediately takes charge and all that, and is like, yeah, this is fucking serious. We got to go after him. Let's hunt this thing down. He should have been the fucking sheriff. Thoughts?
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah.
Hawkins was awesome.
Yeah, I should have brought him up because I liked him too.
And I guess spoiler alert. It's not that I hated how he was killed off, but it's just it felt like it was too soon. Like, you really could have used this guy for at least, if not the whole trilogy, at least maybe the next movie. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, his death hurt the most just because he was such an interesting character. It's like whenever he talked, I listened. I believe the history with how he was there and arrested Michael in the original. I believe it, not just because of the performance, but with the writing. Another character I actually really liked. It's mainly a positive, but I'll also bring him up in my mixed aspects. I really like Sartain. Because again, what with like how Dave McRae said in his review, the idea to cast an actor with a Loomis-esque kind of vibe to him was smart. I liked what he had to say, like when he was saying to Hawkins about how trauma, how it can make someone stronger or weaker. But the thing that cemented that I ultimately do like this character is like what he's saying about Michael. Is Michael on a random path or is he emotionally driven? Bringing up that mystery, whether it's going to be a setup for any reveals we might get by the end of this trilogy, or if it's just him asking the obvious questions. Hawkins was another character Sartain was another character like Hawkins that when he talked, I listened. And obviously, why he's in my mixed aspects, I think we all know why.
Yeah.
But my reason is not what your reasons will probably be, but we'll get to that. Favorite scenes? There are a multitude of scenes that I could talk about, but I think the one I'll mainly focus on is just the ending. The fight with Lori and all that, and how Karen is like, gotcha. It's just the fact that it's the most tension filled atmospheric part of the movie. I will give a mention to the long shot with Michael going from one house to another. That's great. But what cements the ending for me as my favorite scene is not just the fact that they burn him again. It's the freaking music in that scene. Like how they all got out alive and the truck's taking them away and how Alice is looking back at the burning house. Like the music there is just it hits so hard. For me, it was a great ending. Favorite kill is probably going to be Vicky's death. Like when he's coming out of the closet and shit. Not necessarily for the kill itself. Well, it's just a simple stab and go. There are certain shots with how Michael is shot in that scene that's just like those are it's probably the best looking Michael Myers shots I have seen since the original. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's just me though.
Definitely just the shot of him in that scene, just looks great. Him coming out of the closet. And I loved the bit with the motion sensor lights. That bit was creepy.
Another great one. For some reason, even despite what he did, I kind of felt sorry for Oscar there. Should we though?
I don't know if that would be a mixed aspect or a negative.
Speaking of which, our mixed aspects.
Well, so the kid, fuck, I gotta remember his name. It's, yeah, I have his name right here. Fuck.
Julian?
Yeah, Julian. Julian, like, he's not a bad character. I mean, he is funny, but I do think it kind of when it came to like the pacing of the movie and the tone, it felt very out of place a little bit. It wasn't horrible, and like I get why they did it, but at the same time, it's like, was it really needed?
Yeah.
Not really. But overall, it's like it wasn't horrible. Like, it's not a negative for me. It's just more like I could take it or leave it.
I will say real quick, I will kind of back you up there. The farthest they should have taken Julian's humor is like when Michael, is cutting her. And it's like, oh shit, and he runs out. That's where the joke should have stopped.
Yeah. And I will say the two podcasters, it's a cool idea, but it also, they got killed off way too early, which I get that was the point. Michael was going to kill them. You knew he was going to kill them to get his mask back, but
They were
it's
other
like
really interesting characters for me.
they were interesting, but they were just basically there to die, essentially, if you get what I mean. Like, they're cool, but I didn't need to feel attached when I already knew they were just gonna go off and die, essentially. So, because again, it's a cool idea. I liked it, but at the same time, it's like I wish maybe we could have had a little bit more time with them. But but I get it. You really can't do that. So it's fine. Like the thing is, there's not a whole lot of there's a couple negatives, which, like I said, I'll talk about that more. But other than but Julian and the podcasters, they're mixed. They're not bad, but they're not memorable either to me. So those are my mixed aspects.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Austin, I totally agree with the whole bit with the podcasters. They seemed, with the exception just so Michael can get his mask back, they were kind of pointless. I mean, after they're killed, they're never brought up again. And I thought they were going to have like a much bigger role in the story. Like maybe the guy was going to be like the new younger Loomis, trying to track down Michael and stop him. But instead, it's just, oh yeah, we're doing a podcast. Hey, Michael, here's your mask.
Maybe he could have been Loomis's son. I would have believed it.
Yeah, that would have been so cool, and they did nothing with it. It's like, what was the point of these characters if you're going to do nothing with it? And some of the side characters, I wish the time spent on them was spent more on Lori. Because, honest to God, I don't care about Allison and Allison and her friends are doing. Like, the shit with her boyfriend, the shit with the guy that, tries to make out with her. Like, I don't care. All that time should have just been spent on Lori. And this is something that I am going to give H2O over this movie. The scene with John and Lori in H2O where they're arguing, that was a great scene because that conveyed all the stress and the anxiety that Lori projected onto him. With the exception of that flashback, there wasn't really that scene where there was an argument between them. It's just Karen going, the world's not a bad place. It's filled with peace and love and understanding, man. It's
my theater laughed at that.
No, that was corny. Out of all three of the kids in the her kids in this universe, Jamie, John, and Karen is the one that I cared the least about, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if she gets killed off in Halloween Kills.
Judy Greer did a terrific job, though. That's just the thing, that all the acting in this movie is great.
Yeah, she did a good job, but at the same time, I didn't really care about her.
And that's another thing, that. We're gonna get into that when we get into the Halloween Kills topic, but basically, it's it'll probably make all these lesser characters better. Is that it?
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right, so who wants to start this next one?
What's the next one?
Who wants to start the next topic?
Oh, negatives.
Yeah.
I mean, I can start if you want.
Right. Zach, what are your mixed aspects if you have any?
Oh, I didn't even. Oh yeah. Stupid.
Oof.
My mixed aspects. Now, as I said before, while Sartain as a character is mainly a positive, my mixed aspect about him is probably what your guys' is.
Just him suddenly being evil?
It didn't bother me And hell, the whole fact that that they just did away with it 5 minutes later and he just dies is not what bothers me either. My mixed aspect is more or less just how people took it at face value. Is like, it's not that I saw it coming, but it's like, how else would it have went down? Like, even if he got Michael there 2 lorries, set him loose, Sartain's fucked either way. So, and plus, think of it this way. It's kind of it may be probably not intentional, but it's kind of a fuck you to the whole idea of Halloween 6 with the cults and trying to control Michael. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, Sartain works just fine on his own as a character anyway, but putting that little fuck you there to Halloween 6, whether it's intentional or not, I enjoyed it. So that's mainly what I'm kind of mixed on. I was like, again, like, how else do you think it would have went? Would you rather Sartain do be like that, like trying to control Michael, like, yo, go get Lori and all that?
I would have absolutely hated that.
Better it go the way it did, which actually stays true to Michael's character, if you get what I'm talking about. You know, like, he just breaks out and kills him because he's the boogeyman.
Yeah, he
like you think about how else would it have went?
Yeah, he doesn't get easily bossed around by others. He's not a dumb behemoth. Like, if that was Jason, then yeah, because Jason's a big idiot and anyone could easily control him.
Yeah. So you get what I'm saying? It's like, this ultimately stays true to Michael's character. The fact that the Sartain tries to do, but Michael just breaks out. Where else could it have went, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. And I do see what you mean.
While I would have liked for Sartain to stay around, like, obviously not into the next movie, but maybe there's a bit more they could have done with him, but I do like what they did. That's pretty much it. That's, like I said earlier, people saying that there are plot lines and characters that were kind of left out there and that they weren't really given anything conclusive. Again, it's not mixed aspect for me because now that we know we're getting another movie, that's why those things are going to be paid off probably. Like with Cameron and how he's just never seen again and stuff like that. Small little details is like it's gonna leave people thinking in retrospect, like, now I see why you did it the way you did, and it'll probably make this movie better in retrospect thanks to Halloween Kills. But that's about it for me. Anything for anyone else?
No, I think that's it for my mixed.
Austin?
Yeah, I think maybe one more mix for me is the ending. It's not a bad ending because I like that they kind of pay homage to the first Halloween where Michael got shot off the balcony and he disappeared. Like, that I could be like, okay, I believe that, but he's like in a burning building, and I get there's probably a way for him to escape, but the fact that he disappeared kind of made me go, really?
You'll see. I could tell you, but I don't want to give it away because I want you to go into the movie thinking like, oh, so that's how they did it the whole time. Because there is actually something that they teased if you look really closely in the 2018 film.
I mean, but it's not really a bad thing. Like, I get where they're going with it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, the last time it was lit on fire, I mean, I'm pretty sure the man was almost dead, and the guy's older now. So, I mean, I can. The thing is, it's with Halloween. It's like I've just come to realize that it's not realistic. So I'm like, okay, I can suspend my disbelief for certain things. Like, Michael survived so much that honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he could survive a fire at this point because he did it before. So
as to say, if he was even burned, wink, wink.
So I mean, it's more like a mixed thing. I mean, I'll see how it gets addressed in the Halloween Kills if they go down that road.
Oh, you're gonna be really surprised, but I mean it is a good way. Because I caught it looking at the trailers, and again, there are hints. Because like you in the 2018 film, when it shows the inside of the basement, but he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should I say it? It's
No.
not really spoiling Halloween Kills, but think about where Laurie stores her guns. Wink, wink. I don't know. Was I saying too much?
Yes.
I mean, this is a spoiler discussion.
It's not spoiling Halloween Kills. It's just because she has a gun bunker, right?
You just spoiled it.
Ah, shit.
And spoilers, Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time.
Yep. But with that being said, y'all ready for negatives?
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, negatives.
So for me, Sartain is a negative. To me, he's just a discount Loomis, and the fact that he turns evil, at the end, I thought that was really dumb. Like, I get why he does it, but at the same time, it does not mean it's actually good. It was just more on the lines of dumb. It didn't really make sense. They never really hinted at this. You don't really know like what his relationship with Loomis is. Like, you know that they were like partners, but you don't really know how close they really were. The comedy, well, if this is something that I'll even factor in with Julian's stuff, I thought the comedy at points really took me out of the movie.
Yes.
And there are lines of dialogue in the film that are really cringy, and they're kind of like, really? Like the peanut butter on the penis thing? Yeah, that was bad. The dad himself, I mean, he was just, he was just there to die, which thank God. He was just there, like a lot, like the whole dance stuff. I mean, I get like, what's Allison? Like, I get that Allison's like in high school and like they want to show the dance, but unless you're gonna see Michael like in there, like, why are we really bothering with this? And just to see like, oh, the boyfriend's cheating on her, and he dumps her phone in the punch. I'm like, why the fuck do I want to see this? I'm not here to watch.
To be fair, I'm not doxing H2O, but there's all that stuff about how John and his friends were setting up their little Halloween party stuff.
Right, but I do think but they spend way too long with that.
Fair enough.
Like, they spend way too long with this, and it's kind of annoying. And it's kind of like, all right, well, I'm not here to watch, the fucking high school dance movie. I'm here to watch Michael Myers. Like, to me, if they did stuff with Michael in the high school, that would have been really cool. But it was just something that I think kind of dragged on a little too long. And it is something that I really wish we could have gotten. Maybe you could have cut it down a bit. But otherwise, those are really my negatives. Just the comedy, Sartain, and just the dance stuff.
Good. All right, Devin. The floor is yours.
All right, so the biggest issue with this movie to me, and this has always been a problem with me since I first saw the movie 3 years ago, the comedy. The comedy in this movie is terrible. Not once, with the exception of the bit with one of the bits with Julian. I didn't laugh once in this movie. I found a lot of the comedy in this movie to be like really annoying and distracting, and sometimes it would just take me out of the scenes. It's my problem with It Chapter 2. A lot of the comedy was really bad and would kill the tension. And like the bit where the dad's like, "Oh man, I got peanut butter on my penis."
No. It's I got peanut butter on my penis.
Like what? Like, come on, really? Well, why is this here? What the fuck are you guys doing? Or the kid going, I don't want to go hunting with you. I like doing ballet. And or you got your lip crusties on me. I mean, the dialogue's not as cringy as it is in
To
the
be
Rob
fair,
Zombie
though,
movies.
I liked Cameron in this movie more than I did Oscar.
I didn't like either of them. I mean, the comedy, the lines in this movie, they're not as cringy as they are in the Rob Zombie movies. Thankfully, there's no you're jealous of your own daughter's ass, or I'll crawl over there and skull fuck the shit out of you. Like there's thankfully none of that. But one of the lines, and whenever I watch this movie, I always fucking skip over this part just because I think it's so fucking stupid. It's those two random cops sitting in their car and they're talking about their
Oh,
lunch.
come on, man. I like that. I mean, it's not anything great, but it's like it's funny.
I hate that scene. It's not funny. It's just filler. Like,
It's like what a 5-year-old would eat if he could make his own lunch.
yeah, it's like a scene happens, where it's revealed that 13 is evil, and then we cut to, hey, you look like a peanut butter and jelly guy. I tried making my own brownies. When I tried making my own brownies, my wife didn't think I did. My wife thought I didn't do a good job. It's like, Jesus Christ, come on. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Come
Why
on,
is this here?
It's funny though, because he's eating his, the other guy's eating his. It's like the guy's eating his brownies, like mine's better than yours.
It's like I don't care. I want to. This should be, all this time should be focused on Laurie.
Maybe if that scene wasn't placed in between all the bits of Sartain's reveal, maybe it could have worked possibly.
See, I didn't like Cameron. I thought he was a douchebag. I didn't like Oscar. I mean, at first Oscar seemed fine. I mean, he seemed kind of annoying, and then it's revealed, oh yeah, he basically tried to rape Allison. It's like, wow, this dude's gonna die, and I do not feel sorry for him at all. Like, this guy can just fucking die right here, and I wouldn't feel sad. And
it's a cool visual, by the way. I think the sharp part of the gate went right through his jaw or something.
Yeah, the kill was cool, but I didn't care about the character.
Yeah.
I didn't like Laurie's son-in-law. I thought he was annoying. Like, to me, he's one of the most annoying characters of the series. Like, he's right up there with Tina. He's right up there with Busta Rhymes. He's even right up there with Laurie and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
I'll give it to you that Ray seemed kind of,
and Ronnie in the first remake.
Like he wasn't taking anything seriously, but I didn't think he was annoying. All right, the peanut butter penis thing, I could definitely leave that, but it seemed like he was. I'll give it to you. He was probably a just there to die kind of character, but it's like he was all right. I mean, he was serviceable.
Laura, come out, put down the gun.
This is my own. This is my house. I can protect my own family. All right. I know jujitsu and I'm freaking karate.
Shut up. Come on.
He's a good actor though. He's done a lot of funny stuff.
See, I didn't like see what else I did not like. I didn't like a lot of the bits with Allison. I thought, like, especially the bit with the dance was kind of pointless because, again, they should have been using that time to focus on Laurie and her PTSD, because Laurie doesn't really have that much screen time in this movie, and that's kind of sad. By the way, I do hope there's not a lot of comedy in Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends, and that they're much more serious.
I think I'm not spoiling anything when I say you can expect a darker, more grim and serious Halloween movie with the next one.
All right, good. All right, good. I don't want to hear cops talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches again. And Sartain revealing himself to be evil, was stupid. It came out of nowhere. And the end. And I know this came out in 2018. The Me Too movement just started, but there is a lot of like feminist agenda moments in this movie.
I didn't really get that.
I mean, it's not as bad as, say, the 2016 Ghostbusters or the 2019 Black Christmas.
I was just about to say that that is woke as shit.
But some of the parts where Karen and Laurie, they have the big shotguns, and the guy, of course, has a pistol because he's got to look inferior to the women. Sure, why not? And
I don't really see it as that. I mean, maybe they were. maybe that's what they were going for, but I don't get that vibe.
And this has always been my problem since they even first announced them. I don't like how there's going to be 2 more movies after this. I thought this should have been the last one. But no, it turns out, oh, Michael's not dead. He's going to come back. There's going to be more movies after this. And I know the trailers of Halloween Kills are going to say evil dies tonight. Well, there's going to be another movie after this, so I'm pretty sure Michael's not going to die.
We'll get to that, and I'll put my argument for how I think they've already justified it as necessary.
And also the title. I mean, this is a nitpick, but I remember hearing the original title was going to be Halloween Returns, which I think would have been kind of fitting, but no, it's just Halloween.
Yeah, it actually could have been Halloween Returns, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends.
Yeah, the movie should have just been called Halloween Returns and not Halloween, so we don't have to keep calling it Halloween 2018.
It's actually, I've actually gotten used to it. It rolls off the tongue, Halloween 2018.
Yeah, but those are my negatives.
All right. My only negative, I guess I'll kind of roll with you there, is the title. Because especially for newcomers of the series, it's going to confuse the fuck out of them. Like, seriously, like, because I'll actually give them credit. There actually was a legit reason why they actually just called it Halloween again. But come on, you could have given it a subtitle. That's about it. Because again, I'll bring it up again. Like, any plot lines or characters that were just left out there and didn't get any development, I'm fine with that because we're getting another movie, so it's not an issue. But that's about it for me as far as negatives. Like, really, you couldn't have come up with a better title. Anything else before we get into final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Austin?
Nope.
All right. So that being said, let us get into our final thoughts.
Yeah, overall, it's still a really good movie. I still think it is one of the better Halloween films, despite some of its problems. It's clear that this movie was set up with the intention of more sequels, which I think it's only getting 2 sequels, unless the third one and the second one do really well. Which then it could be extended, but I don't think it will. Good characters. It like I said before, it feels like the Halloween of old. I like the atmosphere. Everything that was lacking in Rob Zombie's films are definitely improved here. It's one of the better films since, I would say, H2O, and it's an overall better film. And it's definitely a film that I would recommend, especially if you just wanna watch it. So if you want to watch Halloween, I definitely recommend it. There's really nothing else to say. I think I basically said everything. So those are my final thoughts.
Alrighty.
So, in conclusion, despite its problems, I do like this movie. I do like it. I enjoy it. I would definitely take a movie like this over another mediocre sequel or a really awful sequel.
Or a Rob Zombie 3D sequel. That clearly would have been much better, right?
Oh God, yeah, that would have been a fucking masterpiece.
It would have been more highly anticipated than what we got.
Yeah, I would have. I'm glad I got a movie.
$1 billion. $1 billion.
I'm glad I got a movie that is just good, enjoyable.
Yeah,
it is one of the better sequels, and I would definitely take it over another Halloween 6 or a Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 or a Resurrection or a Halloween 5.
Oh,
and like the positives outweigh the negatives, but the big negative for me is the comedy, and I hope there's not a lot of that in Halloween Kills Because if it is, and it's just as bad as it is here, it's going to be a big fucking distraction for me. But in the end, I got great performances. I got great kills. I got a great score, and I got quite possibly the most brutal and badass Michael ever seen in a movie. So so overall, I'm happy with it. It's a movie that I do like watching today, and yeah, it's a good movie.
Now, for me, I want it known because I still love the original Halloween 2. I love Halloween 4, H2O. But Halloween 2018 is the only other film in this franchise besides the original that I would call a masterpiece. A genuine masterpiece. Meticulous in its execution, with its writing, its characters, little flaws and tidbits aside, I think this film was perfectly executed with its ideas. Despite the sequels in tow, it gives me confidence knowing that this whole trilogy was planned from the beginning, as far as its narrative. Take notes, Lucasfilm. But yeah, the acting is great. The kills are that perfect balance of showing the off screen, showing the after results, and actually showing the gore. And it doesn't rob Zombie itself with either the dialogue or the gore, thank God. So for me, it's a film that transcends itself above just being a horror slasher film. It's a film about failure and trauma and how one can either grow stronger or better for it. It's not just a great horror film. I think this is a great movie. And I could not be happier, and I couldn't be happier that this is the final result that we got. Mic drop. Alrighty. Closing grades.
I would give this movie a B plus. It's not the best Halloween movie. I still think that the first one is still probably going to be the best Halloween film. I think just by execution, I think Halloween 1 is just perfect. This one, it's good. It's close, but to me, it's kind of like with the other sequels. They don't wow me. It's one of the lines of I'm going into a Halloween movie now for entertainment. If it entertained me, then it does its job. And I think with this one, it does its job. But it's not my favorite Halloween movie, and I don't think it's even my favorite Halloween sequel. If that makes any sense. It's still in my top 5. But where I would put in my top 5, I would have to think about that because I still got to really think of my list, and I'm going to redo my list once Halloween Kills comes out when I see Halloween Kills. So I'm just going to say it B+. Those are my final thoughts.
Sweet.
Yeah, like I said, I do like the movie a lot. And this, of all the movies, if I had to do like my top 5, it would be obviously the first one, then Halloween 4, then Halloween 2, then this, and then Halloween 3. So it's a movie that I do like and I do appreciate. And if I had to rate the movie at a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give it maybe like a 4 out of 5.
Excellent. For me, this is literally in my top 2. There are days where, because here's how I say it. Halloween 2018 is my favorite of the series, but I acknowledge full on that in terms of overall craftsmanship and all that the original is still the best. But 2018 is certainly my favorite of the series. And with all that in mind, for me, Halloween 2018 is an A+ and a 9.5 out of 10. Now, before we close up today, I actually want to put on an extra topic, given that we're 1 week away. It can go the same route like Austin, then Devin, then me. I want to talk about our final expectations for Halloween Kills, like any theories or predictions or where just our expectations are in general. Have a little bit of a little quick talk about.
So my just final expectations going to Halloween Kills. I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm going to see it on the 17th. So when it comes to Halloween Kills, I'm just expecting an entertaining film. I'm not expecting a movie with excellent dialogue. I'm not like I would like the dialogue to be good. I'd like the story itself to be good. I want this to be a good continuation of 2018. I don't because the problem is with Halloween is like you have the first movie, which is great, and then there's a sequel which ends up not being as good. I hope it breaks the trend of the sequel tends to not be good. I'm not saying Halloween can't do sequels right, but at the same time, there's a lot of instances where they try to do something.
They haven't been able to.
Exactly. Like they try to do a trilogy of some sorts, but then they fuck it up in the second film. I think Halloween Kills is going to be able to succeed in that, but again, as long as we get good kills, a good story, good characters, like just good everything, then I'm gonna go to this movie at least satisfied. Because I don't want to go into this movie and then get a shitty film. Because if I get a shitty film, then why I can't. Because again, I'm gonna be fair to it. Like I'm gonna judge it on its own thing. And overall, I would just say for Halloween Kills. I'm also expecting there's going to be some screwy ending. Like, it's not going to end with Michael Myers being killed off because, as we know now, there's one more movie to this trilogy. So they're going to do something where Michael is going to survive. Honestly, there's a few ways I think they're going to go with this. One, they're going to go the Halloween 4 route and just shoot him a bunch of times, which I don't think they're going to do it, but it's a possibility.
Now, would anyone here agree if I were to predict that Halloween Kills will probably end on the same lines as, say...
I mean, but it depends on how it's done because if it's because like I said, if it's a movie that doesn't really do anything, if it's not well executed, then the plan they have is not going to work. But I do have confidence because it's the same writers, it's the same director from the last one,
and the fact that this whole narrative was planned out from the beginning.
Right, like even if it wasn't like all planned out, at least there was like an outline because. From what I heard, they wanted to do 2 movies back to back, but the problem is because they're like, well, we don't know how this first one's going to do. Let's, put this on the back burner for now. Let's see how the first one does, and then they'll do like a back to back thing. Which, yeah, that's fine, and it did well. So I mean, I do think it has potential to be really good. As far as it being the best Halloween film, we're gonna have to wait and see. Because I don't even think it's going to be the best Halloween film. I'm just expecting it to be a good Halloween sequel. Other than a screwy ending, kill a shit ton of kills. Because I heard they're bringing back some of the original Halloween actors. I hope they do them justice.
I am so excited to see Bracket.
And I bet some of them are going to be killed off in Halloween Kills. Like, there's no way they're going to have Michael just not kill him off. Unless they're going to say that for Halloween Kills, which... I'm not going to look too far Halloween Ends. I'm not going to look too far down that rabbit hole yet because, like I said, you still have to watch Halloween Kills. But otherwise, I mean, I really don't know what else I can say for final expectations other than I just hope it's good.
Alrighty.
I do hope the movie is good because personally I didn't really like the idea of there being 2 more movies after 2018, but if it's done well, then good. I am looking forward to seeing some of the older characters returning. I can't wait to see more of James Jude Courtney's badass Michael. I do think the trailers kind of spoiled most of the movie and I already do have some predictions that I think are going to happen. But I hope the movie's good, and I hope that when Halloween Ends comes around, they kill off Michael in a way that he won't be able to come back from. Like no retconning of Laurie cut off his head, but oh what a shock, it was the wrong person.
Yeah, that is something I agree with. I think after this trilogy, they just have to end it because
they do say they plan more Halloween movies after Ends, but
No.
they have been adamant on the fact that Halloween Ends will be the final film of this storyline.
No, they need to keep Michael dead.
yeah, I agree.
Keep him dead. Because
Just you want to make more movies, fine, but just leave this timeline alone after Ends.
because if they keep bringing Michael back over and over again in this series, you know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get
It's
another
gonna be
Halloween.
right back to where they started.
We're gonna get another Halloween 5. Do you guys want another Halloween 5? Because I sure as shit don't want another Halloween 5.
Because here's the thing: if they screw up this timeline, then this is it. Because Jamie Lee Curtis isn't getting any younger, neither is John Carpenter. So this is their last chance.
I think, like, to me, after this trilogy, they should just stop with Michael Myers and kind of go back to what John Carpenter originally wanted to do after Halloween 2, and that's anthology films.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially since Halloween 3 is much more beloved among the fan base now, they could easily do that.
Yeah,
Like, you don't even have to call it Halloween. You could just call it something else. And people would be like, okay, it's the same guys who did Halloween, shit, let's go see it. Because the problem is, because when you call it Halloween, people are going to associate it with Michael Myers. Because that was their problem with the third one. They call it Halloween, everyone was like, oh shit, where's Michael Myers? Like that. I mean, I'm not saying people are, again, the internet's going to be like, well, why the fuck isn't Michael Myers in it? But the thing is with Halloween, it's just, the problem is with Michael is that they've done Michael so many times, and a lot of times they really fucked him up, that who's to say that after this trilogy, Michael's going to be done better? Like, it's just no. Like, and it sucks, because as much as I think Halloween is great, but we also have other series that aren't even being revived and so I'm not saying that's a bad thing about Halloween, but I think after Halloween, I think they should take a back seat and maybe give rights to other horror franchises that aren't, like, that are more or less just not inactive, and give them to the same guys who did these. Like, if you gave these guys a Nightmare on Elm Street, they could probably do something with it. And Friday the 13th too. From what I heard, the lawsuit's done. So, fuck it. Give it to them. Like,
Or hell, let the guys that are doing the Never Hike Alone movies, let them give them a big budget and let them do a sequel.
exactly.
Or hell, just make their fan films, but just make the Never Hike films canon. Because I think those are great.
Yeah, I'm actually, my friend and I are actually working on a Friday the 13th story right now.
Have you guys seen those, by the way? The Never Hike Alone ones?
Oh, and Never Hike Alone is awesome.
And then there was Never Hike in the Snow.
Oh yeah,
Bringing back some of the original actors, like who played Tommy Jarvis and some of the other characters. Hell, just make that canon if you're able to go that far.
That's why I say, after this, if you want to do another Halloween film, then you probably have to do it in the way future. Because after this trilogy, it's more or less, this is like, to me, if I were to do this trilogy, I would just end this trilogy completely, or just end the series completely, because you end it on a high note, nothing's fucked up. It's just done in a way which works. And I would give other franchises that aren't being done well, or just not being used, a chance to, because we know Halloween did well. A movie franchise like A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I know I keep bringing this up, needs a breath of fresh air, and it needs to be revived. And even if you can't get Robert Englund to do it, which, I mean, knowing how these movies, are basically kind of like a direct sequel and bringing back the characters like Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, you could convince somebody like Robert Englund to come back for like a Halloween 2018 like film, but would I also rather see somebody like a younger, like, do I want to see a reboot to A Nightmare on Elm Street? No, because it was obvious the first time they rebooted it that it doesn't work.
And it sucked.
Exactly.
But the actor was good though. That was about it. But it was a shitty story.
Yeah, the actor is good, but if it's not a good movie, good acting really doesn't do much.
Yep.
And you know, it's like with Halloween 2018, it basically did what A Nightmare on Elm Street should be doing because New Line's fucking stupid and they're going along with this Conjuring shit. When reality, guess who fucking made New Line money to begin with? A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I get it, you know, money, but at the same time, look at what Halloween 2018 is doing. Or just look at how Halloween's doing. You can bring back these older franchises and it'll work. I'm not saying it's going to happen for everybody because let's be honest, Texas Chainsaw couldn't do this. Like, remember when they tried doing it with Texas Chainsaw 3D? That sucked.
Oh, that was awful.
Like,
Awful.
it's like now the only time it worked with Texas Chainsaw was when sadly Michael Bay did the fucking remakes, which here I want to fucking cry even saying that sentence, but you know it's just,
That's the thing though. It could have been so much worse. This franchise could have landed in their hands, and we wouldn't have gotten this movie.
oh yeah, no, Platinum Dunes, if they got Halloween, it's fucked because
They almost did.
They couldn't even do Friday the 13th right. Do you really think they would have done Halloween right?
No.
Even
The
though,
only one they did right with good movies was Leatherface.
and that's shocking because honestly, Texas Chainsaw is not really that good.
It's not.
I mean, it's just when you look at creativity, I get they're basing it off like, oh, it's on real life stuff. I don't get the hype around it.
And this new Netflix sequel, and I want to rant on that too a little bit. I guess kind of appropriate since we're talking about Halloween 2018. The friggin' new Texas Chainsaw sequel that's going to Netflix.
I'm not even going to watch it.
Tell me if any of this sounds familiar. It's retconning everything else. It's going to be a direct sequel to the original. And granted, they didn't get the same actress, but they're bringing back the original character, the original final girl from the first film, and she's older, she's traumatized, and she wants to go after Leatherface. Now, where have I heard that before? What the fuck we were just talking about?
Oh, and apparently, even though this is a direct sequel, they once again got Leatherface's name wrong. The original Leatherface's name is Bubba Sawyer. You want to know what they're calling Leatherface in this movie? Kenny.
Oh, fuck that. And see, the thing is, I'm not even emotionally invested in Texas Chainsaw, but for fuck's sake.
I only like the first two movies.
Why is Universal not filing a fucking lawsuit? They are deliberately ripping off Halloween 2018 with its premise.
I'm just saying, guys, I can't wait to not watch the new Texas Chainsaw movie. I'm just gonna watch
I
it.
agree.
I'm probably gonna watch it just because I'm a completionist, you know. And if it's another installment of a franchise, I'll probably give it a chance. But I know I'm more than likely not gonna like it.
The original is one of my favorite horror movies, and the sequel is one of my biggest guilty pleasures.
I love there are good movies in this franchise, but it's just
only two of them.
I think this film has been fucked since before production started.
Yup.
You know, but you know what the funny thing is? Like, I know I keep bringing back to Nightmare on Elm Street, but a story like Halloween 2018 would actually work in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, if they took the ideas from this into A Nightmare on Elm Street with like someone like,
don't retcon Dream Warriors though. That movie is too fucking good.
oh, I agree. That's why it's kind of like you could even do like, well, no, you can't because then it kind of fuck.
You know what I would do? You could still bring Robert Englund back. I would finally do a third movie with Alice.
I mean,
She died in Dream Master though.
I
No,
think-
no, the new chick. She was in Dream Warriors and no, she was in Dream Master and Dream Child, but we never got a third movie with her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thought you were talking,
I like
you were talking
I
about
like
Kirsten for a second.
it's like that could work, but at the same, like maybe you could just retcon Freddy's dead, like
Yeah, that's the only film you could do away with.
exactly, like you could retcon it and just have the last movie be Alice taking on
'Cause-
Freddy.
Yeah, because say what you will about Dream Master or Dream Child, they're not terrible movies.
No, they're not. Well, Dream Master isn't bad, but Dream Child's just that's more like a D. It's not like
It's
horrible,
more
but-
it's more competently done than some of the worst installments.
Yes, but
Yeah,
at the same time,
I like
it's-
Dream Master.
Yeah, Dream Master is good. Like, I mean, I would say you could do something with Heather Langenkamp, but you kind of gave her that with New Nightmare. So it's kind of like,
It's like all the movies with her, there was nothing that was tainted.
no, there wasn't. It's like you could bring her back for like a small cameo, or like maybe she does something in the movie, but I think with a Nightmare on Elm Street, I think the best bet is to do a reboot. In whole honesty, because
Either that or finally do a third film with Alice, just so she can have her trilogy.
but you know what they could do? They could do a Freddy versus Jason 2, like
Oh yeah.
I mean, they could have Kane Hodder be Jason. I mean, fuck,
Mm.
that's the one thing they should have done with Freddy versus Jason, but you know what? New Line Cinema just doesn't understand anything, okay? New Line Cinema is horrible. Like, have I
I
ever
haven't liked anything from them since the Hobbit trilogy.
God, New Line Cinema, good God.
But with that being said, I guess one thing I'll say before we wrap things up is like, because is there anything y'all want to say about like what your final expectations are?
I think I said everything I wanted to say.
Yeah,
So one
said
thing
everything.
I've been wanting to talk to y'all about is like we're all excited for the movie. We hope it's good. But do you guys think it's necessary?
No.
Austin?
A sequel for this?
But that they're doing more after 2018. We're gotten 2 more films. Do you think it's necessary?
Again, I can't really answer that until I watched both films, because until we know more, until we see them, then I will say if they were unnecessary or not. Like right now, kinda. Like I think you could have just had 2018 be a standalone film, but I don't know. Like it's just one of those things where I can't really say anything yet until I see the other two.
Well, here's my argument. Because, when they first announced that, heck, it was even before they announced the title, they said they're doing 2 more. I was like, are you fucking serious? Because for a while, I was kind of like that. Like, yep, 2018, they could end it here. So I did think it was a bad idea, totally unnecessary, that they're just going to fuck it up. So I was thinking that, right? But here's what won me over. Not even seeing the movie yet, and announcing what they're doing plot-wise is what won me over immediately. Like, yeah, this is necessary. Like we actually need this. It's not just the simple idea of they're bringing back the other characters, but why they're bringing back Tommy and Lindsay and all them. The simple idea of exploring their trauma, like how they did with Laurie in 2018. And just in general, I mean, they're important characters. So if you think about it, it wouldn't have left 2018 as an unsatisfying film. But at the same time, to not see how Tommy was affected, Lindsay, Brackett, and all these important characters from the original, if we never saw their story, how they were affected, something would have been lost story-wise. Now I get it. Seeing the movie, it's all about if they can execute these good ideas, but just in general, the fact that that's what they're doing is what won me over. Is like, yes, I have not been this won over with how necessary a sequel in a franchise was since Toy Story 4. What do you think?
Maybe.
Because, like I said, I mean, they're important characters. So again, if we never saw their story, like, what do you think? Like something would have been lost story wise.
Again, it's like a lot of it's just I don't know. It's
Yeah, I get it. It's tricky. It's all about like if they can actually execute these ideas good, you know. But that's just me. Like just with the ideas alone. Again, I'm sold on like what like on how there actually was a good reason why they were continuing this.
something like that.
What are your thoughts, Devin?
I still don't think it's necessary, because I mean, we've had the unnecessary sequels before. We had it with Halloween 5, and I know, look, Zach, I know you love this movie. It was the same thing with Toy Story 4, but Toy Story 4 wasn't a bad movie. It was just unnecessary and had no reason to exist.
I get that, but like I said, those just again, these are important characters, so to bring them back to close their stories out too, how more necessary could you get, right?
I just hope this movie is at least better than the new Candyman.
Oh, Candyman was great. You seen that yet, Austin?
No.
I didn't like it. I thought it was mediocre.
Better than 2 and 3 though. You got to give it that.
I haven't seen those.
Good.
The first one's one of my favorite horror movies in the 90s, but anyway, we're getting off track here.
No, it's all right because I'll say that it's probably for the better that you haven't seen Candyman 2 and 3. You'd probably no, it's a given. You'd think those films are worse, especially 3. 3 is just I mean, I'll just say this real quick before we close up: is that Candyman Farewell to the Flesh? I wouldn't say that's a bad one, but it's a lesser, gorier rehash of the first film's story, not done anywhere near as well. And the third film borders softcore porno a lot of the times, and it's really uncomfortable. And it just left me really uncomfortable. I hated that movie.
Right.
So yeah, it's better this one than you've seen those two. I'll say that. So, any final things before we close it up, gentlemen?
No, I think I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm good. But Zach, you look more like a peanut butter and jelly guy, and my wife tried I tried making my own brownies. It didn't work out very well.
That's like what a 5-year-old would eat if they made their own lunch.
So stupid. But yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty. So that is going to do it for our review of Halloween 2018. And the next time you see us, hopefully we will all have seen Halloween Kills. I am heading down to my sister's in Washington to go and see it. I will see it no later than probably the 17th. And if not a review that night, I will be able to get us all together here to do a review at least no later than maybe the 19th. Unless I'm able to do it there with my sister, then one of those two will happen. And with that being said, where can we find you, gentlemen?
Well, you can find me on my channel, The Ostinator. Tomorrow, me and Angry Care Bears, we're reviewing Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare.
I'll pray for you.
God. And, Sunday, me and Ninjoid Sour do a show called Shadow Eye, which that's been dead a while. We're reviewing Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. And then after we review the other...
best of the series.
It is really, it is good. And then after that, we're going to transition to reviewing the Arrowverse shows, meaning we're going to review Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, the Legends, Batwoman. Oh God, I got to finish Batwoman. Oh my God.
I haven't even started Batwoman. It's not worth it.
Don't.
Trust me, I'm not going to. I am not going to.
Never watch it. That is my only advice to you. Never watch it. I have to watch it. It is bad. It's garbage, man. And you know what's sad, Zach? I watched only one episode. And that's one too many.
This show is that bad?
It's horrible.
That costume is literally perfection. It will be when it fits a woman.
Yeah, it was miserable, and I gotta watch the rest of it. But thank God I don't gotta watch the rest of it yet, because it's still a long time away. But God, it's gonna be like ripping off a Band-Aid. You gotta make it quick and painless. But at the same time, all these episodes are 40 minutes, and it's 20 episodes. So yeah, we're doing that. Also, I do a bunch of other stuff. Chaos Central, Chris Knight's channel, Anzo's channel, JJ's channel, Nindroid, Zach, Sour, everybody. Subscribe to them. We're a community. Let's build them up. Dev, you guys have an invite to, if you guys ever want to stream, man, hit me up, because I'm always open. Zach, Devin, you guys have a free invitation to, if you guys ever want to stream together. I'm always down. Zach, great stream tonight. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
All right, once again, Zach, thanks for having me on. This was fun. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't upload anything. But, however, if any of you guys have Instagram, you can follow my Instagram at Cinematic Sterling, all lowercase, no spaces, where I am currently reviewing the Halloween movies. I'm currently working on my review for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And when I do get the chance and when I do finish up these Halloween movies, I'm going to try and post a review of Venom Let There Be Carnage. But if you guys have Instagram, please follow my account, Cinematic Sterling.
And you guys can obviously find me here. So with that being said, we will see you all at the latest between the 17th or from either the 17th or the latest the 19th for our live review of Halloween Kills, which by then hopefully all of us will have seen it. We will see you next time. Take care, gentlemen.
Later.
It's over. You can't hurt anyone ever again.
No one told you.
Told me what? My grandmother was right. Run! Go home now! The boogeyman was real.
What do we do?
Let's hunt him down. I'm not just gonna watch another innocent person die.
He's the essence of evil.